I've just I hear nasty things about myself all the time. After 10 years of hearing about it, 10 plus years, it just gets exhausting. I went on a journey the last year, dissolving half my lip filler. I hate even having this conversation over and over and over again because it feels like it's a waste of my breath, because I think with me, it's just never gonna change.
Kylie Jenner once ruled the beauty game like no one else. Her lip kits sold out in minutes, crowds wrapped around Ulta stores, and every single selfie she posted doubled as an ad people couldn't resist. She bragged about being the youngest, self-made billionaire. And whether that was true or not, the world bought into the dream. Her face was everywhere. Magazine covers, glossy ads, nonstop Instagram posts. She was unavoidable. Brands lined up begging to be linked to her name like she was the golden ticket of influence. But now, things look very different. The hype that once made her untouchable feels flat, and fans just scroll past her new launches like they're boring banner ads you've seen a million times. She's now pushing transparency and honesty, but the audience isn't buying it. Other creators like Tana Mongeau or Trisha Paytas can spill every chaotic detail of their lives, and fans eat it up because it feels raw and messy, like a real FaceTime. But when Kylie shares, it feels polished, safe, and so obviously curated for the brand. That's the heart of the issue. Kylie built her empire on shock value drops and the illusion of being untouchable. But today's audience craves messy authenticity over perfection, and Kylie's brand doesn't deliver that anymore. People don't want picture perfect. They want real, and Kylie is struggling to keep up. So buckle in, because we're diving deep into why fans stopped buying Kylie Jenner's products and how her once unstoppable empire is crumbling right in front of us. R.I.P. King Kylie. R.I.P. Kylie Jenner. R.I.P. the girl who once had the whole internet at her feet. Let's just be real. The world flipped, the algorithm shifted, and the fans who once lined up to spend their coins grew up and got smarter. I'll admit, I was right there too. Part of the 200,000 girlies refreshing my screen, waiting to snag a Kylie lip kit like it was gold. Back then, Kylie could launch with a few perfectly filtered Instagram pics, maybe rope in Chris and the sisters for a staged promo shot, and boom, it was gone in seconds. The formula was simple and deadly. Celebrity equals quality. If a Kardashian touched it, everyone assumed it had to be amazing. But that illusion, it shattered fast. By the 2020s, the game changed completely. TikTok reviews popped up in harsh bathroom lighting showing every flaw. People compared dupes that cost 1/3 of the price. Lab talk videos had chemists exposing formulas, makeup artists breaking down pigments, and viral "don't buy this" clips spreading like wildfire. Fans got educated, and suddenly glossy packaging and a celebrity name weren't enough to convince anyone anymore. And let's not ignore the money situation. Today's economy has everyone counting coins, so who's really dropping $30 on one lipstick just because Kylie said so? Nobody. On top of that, her empire feels watered down. Kylie Cosmetics, Kylie Skin, Kylie Baby, canned cocktail, collabs on collabs. It's overstuffed. The brand went from feeling exclusive to feeling like fast fashion beauty, and people stopped chasing it.
Scrambling to find a new way to make money. And I actually have a few pieces of evidence that support this theory, because in the past 2 months, she has out of nowhere launched 3 businesses. Kai, that leather thing that everybody ended up hating and returning.
I had to return mine.
Yeah, a fragrance that I literally do not know a single person that has bought. And now recently, a vodka seltzer thing that is also not performing well. And again, don't know anybody who's bought it. And it's interesting because the Kardashian strategy has always been like, you do 100 things until one of them works, and then you do that thing and you ride it. Like you think of Kim, right?
Yeah.
In the past has had KKW.
Dash.
She's had Dash. She had a credit card at one point. There was a mobile app, but she finds Skims, she rides the wave, right? They're very good at Handle with 818. You see how they find something. If it works, they ride it. So when I see one of them planting all these seeds again, to me, it's like, oh, it's because the wave they were riding before is about to come crashing down. What really is fascinating to me is looking at her businesses now to where she was in 2015 to 2017, where it felt like anything she touched turned to gold. She was still a teenager at 17 years old. She was That
new Kylie Jenner x Kai Frankie's Bikinis collab? Snooze fest. It dropped, and honestly, it felt like one giant yawn. Boring! When every single thing is hyped up as iconic, suddenly nothing feels iconic at all. And when there's a new drop every other week, all you're really doing is training fans to sit back and wait for the inevitable discount or the messy PR stunt that drags the price down. And let's be real, the "this time I'm different, I'm being real" version of Kylie just doesn't hit. The content looks staged, the words sound scripted, and none of it feels natural. It's like she swaps out her implants, poses with her daughter for the cameras, throws on a casual moment, and expects people to believe it's authentic girl next door energy. But everyone can see through it. It's giving rehearsed, not real. The vibe is messy in all the wrong ways. It feels less like branding and more like scheming, like a whole boardroom is brainstorming how to fake relatability. And then comes the price problem. If Kylie's selling a faux leather jacket for $90, it better blow Zara, Abercrombie, or the hottest indie labels out of the water. But when the quality doesn't match the hype, people stop buying, and fast. And when it comes to canned cocktails with a celebrity's face slapped on the front, the drink has to already be better than what's chilling in the cold section, or it's dead on arrival. And trust me, the beer aisle is undefeated. It's got loyalty. If the sip is mid or the vibe is mid, that shelf instantly turns into a graveyard. And once a few shoppers post those haunting photos like, "This sat on my shelves untouched," that image spreads faster than any glossy billboarded Kylie could ever buy. You can drown a bad review with endless marketing, but you cannot outrun a pattern of failure. And let me tell you, I've seen enough reviews of Kylie's Sprinter cocktails to know the people weren't impressed. They were calling it mid, bland, and straight up disappointing. But honestly, why bother when we all know nothing compares to a solid classic can of beer? But here's the catch. Saturation and smarter customers aren't the only reason Kylie's empire is crumbling. If that were the case, plenty of other celebrity brands would have folded by now too. The difference? Those brands found ways to stay relevant and fresh, while Kylie is still leaning on the same tired playbook. At the end of the day, it comes down to quality and strategy. And quality doesn't just mean clean ingredients or pretty packaging. It means giving people something worth the hype, worth their money, and worth choosing over the competition. And that's the one thing Kylie hasn't cracked. Quality isn't just a buzzword. It's simple. Does the product actually do what you promised? If a moisturizer swears it'll give me glass skin glow, but ends up looking like the same finish as a $6 drugstore cream, that's both a quality fail and a marketing disaster. And don't even get me started on fashion. If a blazer costs triple what the mall brands charge, but it's pulling at the seams, pilling after 2 nights, and looking busted, you better believe TikTok is gonna roast it alive. And let's call names. Molly May, I'm looking directly at that first blazer drop. You thought nobody noticed? We all did. I'm always watching when brands sell a fantasy they can't possibly deliver, and customers always clap back by returning items and flooding TikTok with "don't waste your money" videos.
Though people were complaining about the quality, it seemed like Kylie was still making tons and tons of money on this. But then in 2020, Kylie made a shocking business move when she sold 51% of her company to this very large beauty brand called Coty. Because Coty is a publicly traded company, they were required by law to release the financials of Kylie Cosmetics. And this is where things get interesting. See, Jenner's team, and specifically her publicist, wanted her to be on the cover of Forbes as the youngest self-made billionaire ever. So her publicists were reaching out to Forbes and trying to get her on the cover, and they were successful. But when Kylie Cosmetics was bought by Coty, they had to release the financials, and what the publicist said didn't line up with the actual financial statements. And they weren't off by a little, they were off by a lot. So Forbes is basically pissed that they got lied to, and they start redacting all these statements they made about Kylie. But that's not the only issue that Kylie faced. So you remember this company Seed Beauty, the one that helped her launch the brand in the first place and manufacture the product? Well, when Kylie sold 51% of Kylie Cosmetics to this company Coty, Seed Beauty claimed that all their secrets as to how to manufacture the product got released to Coty, and Coty is a direct competitor to Seed, and they sued Kylie Cosmetics for releasing their secret. And with this lawsuit in hand, Kylie Cosmetics basically disappears off of the face of the earth. And now Kylie's trying to relaunch the brand, but it doesn't seem like it's working.
Once that wave of backlash hits, no amount of PR can stop it. Kylie herself played this game early on with her lip kits. She sold us the dream of getting her lips without a single surgery, like magic in a tube. And I've said it a million times, but it hits even harder right now. When you sell an outrageous fantasy and the results don't even come close, who's repurchasing? Who's coming back to spend again? Nobody. The mystery swatches, the random selfies, the smoke and mirrors marketing, it's outdated. The audience doesn't want recycled hype anymore. They want something fresh, something groundbreaking, something that actually changes the game. And Kylie hasn't given them that in years. Let's be real. These celebrities are sitting on millions, some on billions, and yet they still cut corners with their brands. With all that money, they could be inventing products from scratch, innovating formulas nobody's ever seen before. But instead, too many of them just slap their name on something pre-made, outsource it overseas, and call it luxury. That's literally what Kylie did teaming up with ColourPop. Mass-produced formulas, dressed up in shiny packaging, and sold for triple the price. Fans aren't blind. They want something new. Take Lady Gaga's brand as a perfect example. When Haus Labs first launched, it landed with a thud. No hate, but no love either. The buzz was dead quiet. Even Gaga's own team admitted it, tore everything down, reformulated from the ground up, and came back harder at Sephora. And this time, it worked. The textures, pigments, and shades actually earned respect. And TikTok lit up with creators hyping up the blushes and foundations. Not because of celebrity worship, but because the products genuinely delivered. That's how hype and quality should feed off each other. Same goes for rare beauty. Selena didn't nail it overnight, but the brand slowly earned trust by improving formulas and giving people what they really wanted. Ariana Grande's line stumbled out the gate too, but started regaining attention by focusing on products her fans actually use daily. That's the secret. Quality first, hype second. And Kylie, she still hasn't made that pivot, and it shows.
Labs able to pull off such a massive business turnaround story. They did this by going after a specific beauty category. Most of this info comes from this article in Puck. Haus Laboratories originally launched on Amazon in 2019. They're positioned as an affordable brand. As of 2022, they only did around $30 million in sales on Amazon, which was way less than they projected. And just for some context here, they received venture capital funding from Lightspeed Ventures before they officially came out with their product. So they're looking for this company to have substantial growth over the next few years. Because they launched right before the pandemic, it was really hard for customers to try on new makeup lines in person. Over the next few years, they work on reformulating the products to make them better. And in 2022, they have this major strategy shift. And they renamed the brand from Haus Laboratories to Haus Labs. If they start selling their products at Sephora, that means that they're selling their products at a higher price point now. And they stop selling on Amazon. They come out with an offering at a lower price point and it's just doing okay. It's a lot harder to come out with a more expensive offering and have it do really well. But this is exactly what they did. According to insiders, they're killing it now. They were able to pull this off by focusing on a specific beauty subcategory, their foundation. This is what their customers are going crazy about. If you search for Haus Labs on TikTok, there are more hashtags for Haus Lab Foundation than Haus Labs itself. Haus Labs specifically went after that category and tried to make it the best in the market.
But here's the flip side. Just having a big name doesn't guarantee success. Look at Item Beauty by Addison Rae. Huge celebrity, huge placements, and then poof, gone. Because the products didn't stick with people. There was no staying power, no must-have item that made fans keep coming back.
Happened to Addison Rae's beauty brand, Item Beauty. I'm a beauty founder and I'm gonna break it down in a way that I have not seen yet. Item Beauty launched in 2020 as a collaboration with Ipsy's sister brand actually, and it was clean, cruelty-free, and a big hit with Gen Z as soon as it launched. Their viral product was their Lip Whip oil, which was viral because it was a non-sticky lip oil. Not long after launch, Sephora, their main retail partner, dropped them from shelves in a very quiet way, and this clearly hurt them in terms of visibility and retail sales. Even with a massive following, it's very difficult to convert followers into sales. If a brand's not doing anything groundbreaking, it's very hard to keep present in such a saturated market.
And then you've got Jaclyn Cosmetics with the opposite issue. People wanted to love it so bad. The hype was real, but the quality control issues were disastrous. Moldy lipsticks, broken launches, and wave after wave of bad press. That kind of mess nukes a brand's reputation, no matter how strong the fan base is. Sure, you can market your way into a first sale, but if the product flops, there is no marketing trick in the world that's gonna pull people back for a second one. Once customers decide they hate it, Whether it's clumpy formulas or, yes, those infamous hairy lipsticks, they're out for good. And that's exactly what happened with Kylie. Instead of reinventing the game, she started copy-pasting whatever was trendy in beauty at the time. No originality, no spark, and people stopped caring. Let's be real, the lip kit was genius. Pairing a liner with a lipstick in one pack was fresh, exciting, and perfect for her brand launch. But that was 2015. Nearly a decade later, she hasn't dropped a single innovation that shook the industry the same way. 10 years without a groundbreaking idea? For someone with her resources, that's shocking. And honestly, it makes no sense. Why play it so safe when the audience is literally begging for something new? And here's the other thing. Shoppers today are smarter than ever. Back in 2016, fans bought on hype alone. Now, every buyer has a mental checklist before hitting add to cart. What's in it? Who's it for? How does it wear on oily skin? Could it break me out? What's the return policy? On top of that, cosmetic chemists are breaking down formulas on TikTok. Dermatologists are exposing barrier damage in plain English. And creators are running live wear tests. Customers don't just buy the fantasy anymore. They buy the facts. And Kylie's products aren't standing up to that spotlight. We've all seen the videos where makeup artists line up a $12 blush against a $38 blush and ask, "Can you really tell the difference?" And with the rise of dupe culture, the answer's often no. LF didn't just hop into the market, they devoured it. They weren't worried about pretty packaging or playing luxury light. They gave people bomb formulas under $20 and then shouted it from the rooftops on TikTok. And it worked. Until that whole messy Matt Rife moment, ELF owned the internet. And here's the gag. They're not celebrity-led. They don't rely on some famous face to sell. They master the algorithm, drop products that actually slap, and keep prices where everyday people can afford them. That's terrifying for someone like Kylie, who's trying to sell overpriced, mid-quality formulas based only on vibes. Sometimes vibes just aren't enough, and the customer education shift makes that painfully obvious. Skincare got hit even harder. Brands that threw the entire INSEE dictionary at consumers, endless clean, natural, luxury buzzwords, ended up roasted alive. Meanwhile, The Outset by Scarlett Johansson played it smart, gentle, minimalist, routines, no fake science, no trying to arm wrestle dermatologists. That's why people respected it. But the second TikTok estheticians start telling you your face is fried, forget it. Nobody's dropping luxury prices for mystery serums anymore. People are broke, people are busy, and people are educated. And in today's world, one viral stitch of someone saying, "My skin broke out in hives from this," will crush any glossy promo Kylie films for her brand. One bad review beats 100 polished ads, and Kylie's empire hasn't figured out how to fight that.
I'm gonna give you a brutally honest review for these 3 celebrity skincare lines. First up is Kylie Skin, which honestly got its biggest bad rap after that Jeffree Star video that was actually riddled with misinformation. Do I think every product is great? No, but larger brands have hits and misses, but there are quite a few good products in here that could actually even act as dupes for way more expensive popular ones. Then we have Rhode, which I think is one of the smartest brand launches of all time, not even just celebrity skincare. Because this came about right after everyone had been dousing their skin in tons of chemical exfoliants like the ordinary AHA, BHA peel, and this entire line is about restoring.
And let's be honest, Kylie probably doesn't even use her own products. Maybe she never did. That's the problem right there. People today want to buy from real people, not polished mannequins reading off a brand script. The patience for those marble countertop monologues is completely gone. Fans don't want to be lectured from a glossy kitchen. They want the founder to show up like a friend, not a sales rep. That's why someone like Tana Mongeau or Trisha Paytas can drop the most chaotic merch or random collab and still sell out. It's not about perfection, it's about connection. Their fans feel like they're in the room, part of the process, watching real women share products they actually love. That's authenticity. And it works. Case in point, Tana teased a Tarte lip kit recently, and I instantly felt like I wanted it. Not because I worship Tana, but because I genuinely believed she'd only push something she actually uses. She makes her audience believe the product is part of her life, not just a cash grab. That's powerful. Now compare that to Kylie's version of I'm Being Open. It looks styled, it sounds rehearsed, and it reeks of coaching. Just watch her sharing hair tips video. The tips might be fine, but then the camera pans, and her personal stylist is literally standing right behind her. It's impossible not to roll your eyes. Authenticity might be the most overused buzzword in the influencer dictionary, but let's face it, it's still the deciding factor. And Kylie hasn't cracked it. The only way to win long-term is authenticity. And it's not just a mood board you throw on for Instagram. It's not an aesthetic you can slip in and out of whenever comments get rough. Real authenticity is the shield that lets brands survive when the internet starts dragging. That's exactly how Haus Labs clawed its way back after a soft, forgettable launch. And it's why Fenty has stayed front and center without missing a beat. On the flip side, most celebrity skincare lines faded into dust because they were built on nothing but fame and wishful thinking. My skin is flawless, so everyone's gonna love my products. And then crickets, no backbone, no science, no staying power. If you need a cautionary tale, just look at Morphe. For years, they printed money with the influencer first, hype first model. But once their star creators, James Charles, Shane Dawson, Jeffree Star, got swallowed by some of the internet's messiest scandals, the whole house of cards collapsed. Morphe had no choice but to actually prove itself with formulas that were good on their own. No clout, no collabs, just products people could respect. And trust me, I feel nervous even saying those names out loud because of how cooked their reputations are. But it proves the point. Leaning on fame instead of formula is a ticking time bomb. Look at JVN Hair for contrast. Sure, Jonathan Van Ness is a huge name, but the brand doesn't just scream, "Buy it because I said so." They break down ingredients, they demo results, and they treat curly hair like a science, not a slogan. Same thing with the Outset. Scarlett Johansson's line didn't try to do everything at once. It focused on being gentle, consistent, and thoughtful. That's the real formula for staying relevant. Florence by Mills is the perfect example of a brand that knows its lane and sticks to it. Pastel packaging, easy beginner vibes, soft and youthful, that's the promise, and that's exactly what it delivers. It doesn't try to act like it's the next pro-level artistry line. And because of that honesty, customers gravitate toward it without hesitation. When a brand knows who it's for and why it exists, the trust builds itself. The problem starts when celebrity brands turn into glorified merch tables, slapping a famous face on random drops just to cash in. That's when the sales dry up, and that's where Kylie finds herself today. Her brands aren't fading because everyone suddenly hates her. They're fading because what once worked doesn't work anymore. The internet has changed. Fans now get a front row seat into how products are made, and by lunchtime, TikTok is already flooded with 100 brutally honest reviews. There's no hiding behind glossy campaigns anymore. Other big names have proven that the celebrity brand model can work if you pick a lane and stay in it. Fenty, Rare Beauty, even Hailey's Rhode and Gaga's Haus Labs all built trust by focusing on what their audience really needed and then staying consistent. That's why the fans keep coming back. At one point, Skims and Good American played the same card in fashion. They solved real fit problems and let all those viral try-on videos do the bragging for them. That's the difference. Kylie kept chasing vibes while others kept solving problems. And in today's market, trust beats hype every single time. So many celebrity skincare lines already proved one thing: luxury packaging and wild promises without any backbone will eventually collapse. Right now, the market is only rewarding one thing: trust. And until Kylie decides to build that publicly, actually show her audience she cares about quality and consistency, instead of assuming her name alone can keep the lights on, the same people scrolling past her launches aren't coming back. But the second she figures that out, maybe, just maybe, they'll give her another chance. Now, I gotta ask, have you tried any of Kylie's recent products? Did you actually like them? Be real in the comments, because for me, every time I swing by the drugstore, her products are still sitting there collecting dust. I catch myself checking the shelves just to see if people are finally picking them up. And girl, they're not moving. If you loved today's breakdown, don't stop here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I only make these videos because I want you all to know the real tea before wasting your money. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, and stay locked in with us here at NoFilter, since we drop celebrity gossip videos every single day. Like, share, comment, and I'll see you in the next one, right here at NoFilter.